खिलाती बल खाती तितलियां, सड़क है हमारा बाग, तितलियां तितलियां।
Hello and welcome to Butterflies Podcast. I am Chandan Chaman. I am Head of Children's Cooperatives Program at Butterflies, India, where we are talking about Blue Umbrella Day, which generally is celebrated on 16th of April. But this time, to reach more and more people, we are celebrating it on April 14th, which is a Sunday, at a centrally located hangout place for people. To know more about Blue Umbrella Day, we have with us Mr. JB Oli, Heads Programs. Welcome to our podcast, sir. I would like to request you to tell us more about Blue Umbrella Day and its background.
Thank you, Chandan, for inviting me to speak on that topic. Blue Umbrella Day is a global campaign on the issue of sexual violence against boys. What we have observed over the years is, when you talk about sexual violence against children, it is mostly focusing on sexual violence against girls, but the sexual violence against boys has been grossly ignored or not recognized as an issue, whereas it also is a big issue and the boys also get affected by sexual violence. So in order to understand the issue, there was a study conducted in Asia, Africa and Latin America, where it was, re-emphasize the problem. And so as an outcome of the research, it was decided that, there should be a campaign globally to raise awareness about this issue. So Butterflies, being a part of the research and also part of Family for Every Child, which is a global alliance, is responsible to, take certain measures and initiatives, advocacy initiatives and also awareness initiatives in India. That's why, annually, it is on 16th of April it is organized. But this year, as you mentioned, on 14th being Sunday, and we can reach out to more people. That's why it's being celebrated today.
I have heard that children are also performing, some of the roles for Blue Umbrella Day to create more awareness. Can you shed more light on this?
Yeah, children are part of awareness campaign here because Butterfly believes in children's participation. So children and adults both are participating, and some of the activities are led by children. In fact, there is a group of children who are also producing radio program on this topic, and we have a program called Butterfly Broadcasting Children. Children from this program are trained on basic journalism and media communication. So they are also going to interview some guests who are going to attend the program, and also they are going to talk to the children and adults who are going to attend the event. And this will be produced as a small podcast and will be available in our website. And so also we are trying to approach All India Radio. It can be broadcasted from their channels.
That sounds great. I am excited to listen to what our young child would have to say and what questions they will pose to the delegates. So thank you again, sir, for your kind words and sharing with us about the Blue Umbrella Day, for joining our podcast. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chandan, for giving this opportunity and also speak about the issue, which is very important.
So let's hear from our child reporters what they have to say.
हेलो मैम।
हेलो,
माय नेम इज फाइजा। मैं बीबीसी में यानी बटरफ्लाइज ब्रॉडकास्टिंग चिल्ड्रन में एक चाइल्ड रिपोर्टर हूँ।
my name is Abla El Badri from Egypt.
क्या मैं आपसे कुछ बात कर सकती हूँ? मैम, आप काम क्या करते हैं?
I am the manager of Hope Village Society for Children in Egypt.
मैम आपको यहाँ पर आकर कैसा लगा?
I feel excited, happy to see this performance and this awareness campaign to protect children from sexual abuse, boys and girls. And I'm very excited, and I may repeat what I see in Egypt with my organization.
मैम क्या आपके देश में भी ब्लू अम्ब्रेला डे मनाया जाता है और मनाया जाता है तो किस प्रकार?
Yes, many countries began this campaign in cooperation with Family for Every Child, a global network that we are a member in it with Butterfly organization in India, and we annually do this bud campaign to make an awareness for the community and for the children how to protect themselves and also how to protect other children.
थैंक यू मैम. हेलो.
Hello.
My name is Saksham Bhati. I am from BBC child reporter. I ask you some questions.
Yes, of course.
What is your name?
My name's Nick Scott.
और where are you from?
I'm from London, but I live in Spain.
What in your country boys and girls are equal or how?
I think in all the world there are differences, and so I think there was a lot that can be done to make boys and girls more equal. But I think that there's a lot of progress being made. I hope it continues over the next time.
In your country boys के लिए सुरक्षा के लिए कुछ नियम कानून है?
Yes, I think there are strong laws about sexual abuse and violence against children, but I'm not sure that always boys feel confident to say what's happened to them in all situations.
और आपके यहाँ पे कौन कौन से अवेयर कैंपेन चलाए जाते हैं?
I don't know that. I think I'm going to have to find out what awareness campaigns are running, because I want to see something like this happening in Spain too.
आपकी राय से जो बच्चों का यौन शोषण करते हैं उनको क्या सजा मिलनी चाहिए?
I think that anyone that abuses children deserves to be tried, and if they are found guilty, they should go to prison. I think one of the things we need to ensure is that it's treated as severely as any other horrible crime, and that's what it is.
और इस मुद्दे पे जो ये ब्लू अम्ब्रेला डे हुआ है, इस मुद्दे पे हमें और अवेयर करने के लिए क्या क्या करना चाहिए?
I mean, I think events like this are great, because in general there's not enough awareness, and I was talking earlier about boys feeling confident to come out and to explain what's happened to them, and I think unless you have events like this and in the media, social media, mentions of this, then people don't feel confident, they don't know it's a problem, and so more like this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello sir.
Hello,
What's your name?
my name is Sila Henderson.
My name is Faiza.
It's nice to meet you.
थैंक यू. सर आपका क्या मानना है, क्या सिर्फ लड़कियों के साथ ही शारीरिक शोषण होता है या फिर लड़कों के साथ भी?
Of course not. No. So this is very, very important, because boys have to learn that this does not have to happen to them, and that if there is more awareness and understanding, then hopefully there will be less situations where boys experience abuse.
क्या सर आपके देश में लड़के और लड़कियों को एक समान समझा जाता है?
No, I don't think so. As far as gender equality is concerned, I live in New Zealand, and New Zealand is very advanced around the world. But as far as the issue of boys and girls and awareness of abuse is concerned, actually boys, there is a lot more awareness and education that needs to be done for boys to have the recognition that they also are suffering abuse. More can be done.
सर आप लड़कों के शारीरिक शोषण के बारे में कुछ कहना चाहेंगे?
I think this is a fantastic event, because we are here representing Family for Every Child, which is an umbrella organisation supporting butterflies, and we have an event where children are raising awareness for safety of other children. This is not something that I've ever seen anywhere in the world before. So it's very exciting for us to be here and to watch, observe, and participate.
थैंक यू सर.
Thank you very much.
हेलो भैया, मेरा नाम गुनगुन है. मैं बीबीसी की एक चाइल्ड रिपोर्टर हूँ. मैं आपसे कुछ बातचीत करना चाहती हूँ. क्या आपकी अनुमति है? आपका नाम क्या है और आप कहाँ से आए हैं?
Iván, from Chile.
ओके.
Hablo español. Speak in Spanish.
आपके देश में लड़कों को शोषण को रोकने के लिए कोई सर्विस है?
En Chile hay muchos programas que trabajan con niños que son víctimas de maltrato y abuso infantil.
आपके देश में लड़के और लड़कियों को सेम गेम खिलाए जाते हैं या फिर वो सेपरेट गेम खेलते हैं, मतलब अलग अलग गेम खेलते हैं?
Sí, en mi país, como acá en la India, los niños juegan casi a las mismas cosas en todo el mundo.
आपके देश में बच्चों के स्कूल मतलब कैसे है? वहाँ पे स्कूल में अच्छी फैसिलिटीज है या फिर नहीं है?
Hay escuelas buenas, otras que no tienen buenas instalaciones. Hay de todo tipo de escuelas.
आपके देश में ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस है जैसे यहाँ पे बटरफ्लाईज है और भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस है?
En Chile hay muchas organizaciones como Butterfly que trabajan con niños y niñas como ustedes.
ओके, थैंक यू. नाइस टू मीट यू.
Muchas gracias a ti, tienes una bella sonrisa.
थैंक यू. हेलो मैम.
Hello.
माय नेम इज फैजा एंड योर नेम?
Hello, Faisal. My name's Amanda.
आप क्या काम करती हैं?
What do? I run Family for Every Child.
मैम, आपको यहाँ आकर कैसा लगा?
I thought it was very inspiring. I thought that you had a lot of important things to say, and you said them very beautifully. The singing was lovely, and the mime was very clever.
थैंक यू मैम. व्हाट इज योर नेम?
My name is Blessing Mutama. I'm from Zimbabwe.
आपके देश में लड़कों और लड़कियों के लिए सुरक्षा है?
It's security for boys and girls in my country, but you'd realize that more support is being given towards the girl child instead of the boy child.
आपकी राय से ब्लू अम्ब्रेला डे बर्ड कैंपेन किस प्रकार मनाया जाना चाहिए?
So for us, in Zimbabwe, we've also been conducting awareness campaigns where we're going into the communities and making them aware of the need for the boy child to be equally protected as the girl child.
थैंक यू.
You're welcome.
आपको हमारा बर्ड कैंपेन और हमारी परफॉर्मेंस देख के कैसा लगा?
I have been inspired but also excited to see how young children themselves they can really ask we adults, parents, to protect them and specifically to protect both boys and girls.
आप अपने देश के बच्चों के लिए क्या करना चाहते हैं?
Normally, I'm a director for a child focus organization. So, as I said, I have been inspired, and probably I will start this kind of activities in my country to push young children themselves, to push adults and families to voice for boys and girls together to be protected against sexual violence, but also to be cared and supported, and so that cases can be reported.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome back, friends. You have heard from the international delegates of Family for Every Child talking about International Day of Blue Umbrella, which falls on April 16th. This pivotal moment started with the effort of Family for Every Child. In this episode, let's dig deeper about Family for Every Child and Blue Umbrella Day and its continuing significance from our three esteemed guests. So we have with us Ms. Rita Panicker, Chair of the Board of Family for Every Child and Founder Director of Butterflies in India. Next we have Ms. Omati Madre. She is a Program Director at ChildLink in Guyana. Then we have Ms. Rekha Nathu. She is the Chief Executive Officer of Children in Distress, that is Cindy, in South Africa. We will hear from them the richer perspective of their respective countries. Welcome. So Ms. Rita, would you like to tell us about the Family for Every Child?
Thank you, Chandan. Yes, Family for Every Child is a global alliance of local civil society organizations. And we are in an alliance that's working for children's rights. And within that, we have taken up this issue, which is so important, that how do we protect both girls and boys when it comes to sexual abuse. Having said that, I have to say that the Blue Umbrella Day campaign was a follow-on to our empirical research study we did on boys experiencing sexual abuse, which was called Caring for Boys. And it was in 2019 that we came together to discuss that how do we create an awareness about this issue. And that's how we came up with this whole idea of a Blue Umbrella Day campaign. Today, we must say that it is in about 26 countries we are having this campaign. And we also have some international networks who have joined the Blue Umbrella Day campaign, like ECPAT too. So it is, it's something that we would, in the coming years, we would like the Blue Umbrella Day campaign to be spread across the globe, irrespective of you are a member of Family for Every Child or not. But it is a day that you will raise awareness about boys being sexually abused. This should become something that is recognized globally, and irrespective of you, wherever you are, you would raise your voice on it.
Hi, Omati Matre. Welcome to the program. I just wanted to know from you, what is the significance of Blue Umbrella Day campaign?
Thank you, Chandan. It is indeed a pleasure to be here with you at Butterflies in India, especially at such a significant time when we are running the BUT campaign across several countries that are members of Family for Every Child. We are moving towards a global initiative raising that awareness that boys too are exposed to sexual violence and that boys too are in need of care from sexual violence. And so the BUD campaign, it's a campaign where we want to raise the awareness with boys, with their parents, with the community, to let them know that boys are in need of care and boys too are exposed to sexual violence.
Ms. Rekha, would you like to add something to this?
I think the importance of the BUD campaign, is making the invisible visible. We live in a society where the patriarchy is dominant, and men are often seen as the people who are meant to be strong and the people who are the perpetrators. But we don't often realize that they also are affected and impacted on by sexual violence. And what I find important is that we are giving a language in a space where language hasn't been created before, for men, boys, families to talk about this. That is very real, that it's being, I think, felt across the globe, as Amati has said.
So now I'm asking Ms. Rita Panikkar to add something specific to India.
As my colleagues from Guyana and South Africa have mentioned, it's a fact that when we speak about sexual violence of children, normally we look at it through a very gendered lens, that it is the girls who get sexually abused and the boys do not, and they are the perpetrators. But the Family for Every Child did a 7-country empirical study, research on boys who have experienced sexual abuse. 4 research were done in Asia, in Philippines, Cambodia, Nepal, and in India. The other study was done in Africa, in South Africa, and Zimbabwe, and the 7th one was done in Guyana. So across these 7-country studies, what came across was that boys are sexually abused, and it's a fact. But there's a big silence over it, and nobody has recognized that boys too get sexually violated and they experience violence. Therefore, the Blue Umbrella Day campaign is to create an awareness among the general public that when we speak about sexual violence, remember that both girls and boys get sexually abused and they need to be taken care of and protected.
So, Ms. Omati, I would like to understand from you that what is the impact of Blue Umbrella Day campaign so far?
It's a very interesting question, Chandan. ChildLink in Guyana has been working on the prevention of child sexual abuse for about 10 years now. What we've done in Guyana is that we have set up what we call the child advocacy centers, where children can report sexual violence, and it has been largely supported by our government department to ensure that children are receiving all the services that they need in one location. From the time we've set those services up, we have recognized that there has been a significant increase in boys who are reporting. So what we can say in terms of impact is that boys and their families are becoming more confident in the process, in the system, and in the services, and are reaching out to help. And so it's a norm that we want to encourage boys and their families that services are available. Reach out for that help, report sexual violence, and seek the therapy that boys will need to deal with the impact of sexual violence.
So, if I may ask you, Ms. Rekha, what is the one big change Blue Umbrella Day has brought in?
I think for me, in one of the interviews we conducted, one of the boy childs said, "Before I enter the door, I'm seen as a perpetrator." So even though I've been myself abused, it's hard for me to say that, because it doesn't matter. My gender by itself is saying that I'm the one who's the abuser. And I think the most important thing is giving the space to say that both the girl child that we always focus on, but also the boy child are abused. And at the end of the day, I think it's creating that equality at that level. For me, the biggest impact around the Blue Umbrella Day is actually creating, as I said, a language around being able to talk about this issue. South Africa is a country where stigma and discrimination is rife, be it in the sector of HIV. And you find that any matters regarding abuse, regarding sex, regarding sexuality is considered taboo, both in the family and within society. And what we are able to do as Cindy now is put this taboo topic on national agendas, provincial agendas, and local agendas. But more importantly, what we are doing is we're getting the actual community level dialogue to the national level. And for me, we are a long way. I think Guyana and other countries are further along that road, less traveled. But in South Africa, for us, I've learned that unless you get the language correct, and unless you get the safety net of people and a place where you can discuss these issues, we'll remain silent. So for the biggest thing is, I'll say we've broken the silence, and we become forerunners in breaking that silence.
For India, where patriarchy is deeply seated and boys generally do not speak up. So I would like to understand from you, what is the impact we have so far in India?
In 2007, when the Government of India, Ministry of Women and Child Development, did a national survey of child abuse in India, it was interesting that 54.6% of the children who were sexually abused were boys. And as an outcome of that was that in 2012, when the Government of India developed a legislation to prevent sexual violence of children, it is a gender-neutral law. And it is the first gender-neutral law in the world. But I have to say that we also need to improve and increase our services for boys. And there's a great, great need to create an awareness among the parents, among the community, among the educators, the teachers, that boys do get sexually abused. So we need to change, I would say, the narratives around it, the narratives about how we socialize our children, that boys also need care and protection just as girls do. And we also have to be teaching children about safe and unsafe touch and where they could go to for help and support. I would also say that our schools, our teachers and school counselors need to have an awareness on this, and perhaps have discussions and dialogues in the school about it, have safe spaces for children to be able to speak about it and seek support and help.
My last questions would be around, what is the way forward now, or what is one message would you like to give for the upcoming Blue Umbrella Days?
I think in the coming years, we would like to see the campaign really expand across all the members in family, but also within other global networks where the message is carried and that we don't really see boys as perpetrators of sexual violence only, but that we really recognize that boys too are in need of care. We want more parents in particular to understand that the same level of care that is given to their girl child is also available to the boy child. But in the wider society, that our policies, that our services, that our legislations are really taking into consideration the care and the protection that boys are in need of, and really how we are thinking of development of the males, that it's not just women who are vulnerable.
I think from a South African perspective, for me, the change I want to see is where the family starts to protect their children themselves. Because all of this happens within a family context and it happens with somebody you know. So in South Africa, we are trying to ensure that as much as we're trying to make changes on a macro level within policy, etc., for me, the success is when the families themselves start to run these campaigns, when they themselves start to say, we need this in our community because it's an issue.
I think in India too, we need to continue with our awareness that both boys and girls need to be taken care of and protected, and both are vulnerable to sexual violence, and it definitely happens within your family. It normally happens with the people who know the children. Children, it's not always strangers who are the abusers. Having said that, I think this awareness should begin with the family and then go on to the community, to the schools. But I would also say that even our entertainment industry need to change their narratives. It is so unfortunate that we have narratives in our entertainment industry where we keep emphasizing the masculinity, and it becomes so toxic. And this is what is being influencing the mindset of our society. So I think we need to change create an awareness at all levels, begin with the families, with the parents, with the community, the school, and it goes to policy shifts, legislation, which we have in our country, fortunately, but increase our services for the boys, the counselors to be more sensitized to it, but also the entertainment industry and the social media that needs to be also influenced.
It was lovely speaking to all of you, and I am sure listeners may have found it interesting and something to follow up and join the movement of Blue Umbrella Day. Thank you.